Most of us think that when we get something, we'll be happy. But true happiness is when you give. The very purpose of life is to share the goodness with everybody around. And that's what Sangachatam means. Let's walk together. Upanishad means sitting close. Upanishad. Sitting close to what? Sitting close to the master, sitting close to truth. When you sit close to the source of knowledge, the truth is whispered to your ears. To listen to that whisper of existence, you need to sit close. If you are sitting far away, what does it mean? That means you are not totally here. If you are driving your car and putting your headphones and listening, or if you are doing something else in your house and then walking around and listening to this, that is not Upanishad. A casual listening cannot be considered as Upanishad. When with all your being you are here in this moment, only then the whisper of truth can be heard by. And in that whisper, what is revealed? That which is eternal is revealed. Upanishads are the insights of the enlightened. Those people who have put life into it, lifetimes into it, with one pointed focus to realize the truth of existence, they are sharing their insights, their experiences. Though the experience is the same, the expression of this experience varies from individual to individual. That is why, though it's the same thing being told by all the Upanishads, the methodology, the direction, the examples, the way it is being told is slightly different to each other. We just completed the Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad is a different way of approaching the subject. Ishavasya Upanishad has a different way. Brihadaranyaka has a different way. Mandukya Upanishad has a different way. They all are expressing the same truth, but through different language, different method of expressing. And when you are listening to these conversations, and if you see, the Upanishadic conversations are not public conversations, they are intimate conversations. The conversations between an enlightened master and a student who is ready to grasp, who is ready to soak into this knowledge. So Upanishadic knowledge is that which can only be grasped by a seeker who is sincere, and not just sincere, he also has an intellect that is sharp and the faculties that are considerably purified to a good degree through the persistent sadhana. Why do you need a sharp intellect? You need a sharp intellect to grasp what is being told and to reflect upon it and to ask intelligent questions. That is why mumukshutva is such a great quality to have, a quality of a very refined consciousness. An unrefined consciousness is easily lost in the pleasures of the world. If you need to have an interest in something a little higher, maybe art, maybe music, maybe dance, gardening, nature, service, all these come to a consciousness which is slightly more refined, just connecting to its source, at least some way or another. I was recently telling that when we were growing up in India, maybe when we were 4, 5, 6 years, we were playing around, we used to see so many sparrows, so many crows, everything around our houses, in our balconies. And today I go, no, I can't see any birds around. In a place like Riyadh, which is supposed to be a desert, in my backyard, I see all sorts of birds. But in a place which is naturally conducive to greenery, there is no greenery. we are damaging our own ecosystem. And nobody is even thinking, nobody is even worried about it. This shows a very raw, unrefined consciousness where there is no attention to the subtler aspects of existence, to the bigger picture of the universe, to what our responsibilities and roles are in this universe. Just going along in one direction, pleasure and prosperity, holding on to that and nothing else. Not realizing that what are we doing all this for when there will be no proper world to live for our children and grandchildren. That's why mumukshutva, which is the intense desire to know the truth of existence, is a quality of a very refined consciousness. And it comes from lifetimes of tapas and sadhana and deconditioning. And when does this begin? The turning point for this is when you realize this play of the Maya, and then you start focusing inwards on the self. When a little bit of vairagya has started arising in you, ability to let go of the world, even for a few minutes, only then the mumukshutva has value. So when we talk about the Upanishads, there are a few technical things. This is, say for example, the Upanishadic knowledge has always been given, I told, in an intimate atmosphere, maybe in a Gurukul. And all these which are given, they are not very elaborate. They are like in the form of sutras or shlokas, 2-3 lines. Maybe they are not connected to each other at all. Maybe they were given at different days by the Guru as the insight came through. So unless you take the position of the disciple who is sitting in front of the Guru, ready to listen to this, you may not get the entire crux of this Upanishad. Are you getting what I'm saying? So there are 4 aspects in teaching any Upanishad. The first is adhikari. Adhikari means, are you qualified to listen to this Upanishad? The second aspect is Vishaya. What is it that is being spoken about? In all the Upanishads, it's only the self. It is the truth of existence. What is the absolute reality? That is called Vishaya. The third aspect is called Anubandha. Anubandha means, what is the connection between you and the subject that is being taught? Is it something very distant, or it is something very intimate, something which is very close to you? And the final thing is prayojana. What is the benefit of doing all this? Why do I have to give up my time and attention into this? What am I going to get? So these are the 4 aspects. First, let's come to adhikari. Adhikari means the qualified one. Who is qualified to listen to the knowledge of the Upanishad? One who has put some effort at least into strengthening the 4 pillars of knowledge. What are the 4 pillars? Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhishat Sampattiya, Mumukshutva. And we have spoken about this in detail. I'll just brush through them. Viveka. What is Viveka? Viveka is this ability to differentiate between what is temporary and what is permanent, what is changing and what is not changing, and having that conviction and the strength to follow the eternal, to follow the unchanging, to invest in the permanent, and have an ability to forego the temporary. This is Vivek. Nitya Anitya. That when you know what is Nitya and what is Anitya, what is temporary, what is permanent, and you're able to focus on the permanent, that quality is Viveka. We all have it inside. See, whenever we want to do something very insignificant, something inside us tells, why are you doing this? This is not very important. But somehow we will not muster up the strength to say no to it. Isn't it? Whether it is getting actively into exercise, saying no to a pleasure, or actively engaging in something spiritual or service, you know something inside you will actually, that viveka, that voice in you will say. Listening to this voice and building upon it is viveka. The next is vairagya. Vairagya is what? either in this world or in the other world, not having a craving for anything. Okay, it is being in a state of perfect ease with what is right now. Whatever is there in my life right now does not matter that is comfortable or uncomfortable, pleasant or unpleasant. I am okay with it. Total acceptance. Why? Because know that whatever it is, what is pleasant to me now, the same thing will become unpleasant later on, isn't it? What do you like? Gurudev gives this very beautiful example. You like gulab jamun? Have it. The first gulab jamun you put in your mouth, you feel bliss. Okay, have second, have third, have fourth. Then a point will come very soon where you say, no, enough, I don't want anymore. The same thing which was giving you pleasure starts giving you pain. This is the nature of everything worldly. Look at all the things you accumulated around you, your relationships, the people, the objects, everything. Those which you thought they were your asset, at some point they become your liabilities. They become your headache. Isn't this true? Viveka will tell you this. And building upon this, knowing that everything is temporary, all joys in the world, they don't last forever. The same thing which is giving me joy will bind me and give me pain. Holding on to this is Vairagya. When this becomes strong in you, you are not holding on to anything. Anything that is here today, you will enjoy. If it moves away tomorrow, you will let go of it. Ability to let go of worldly things is Vairagya. Otherworldly as well. If you say, oh, I want to be enlightened, I want this, even the spiritual desires are also lack of Vairagya. That is also Raga. So freedom from Raga is Viraga or Vairagya. Then Shamadhi Shat Sampatti. Shama. What is Shama? Shama is tranquility. And you will see these six wealths automatically become strong with you with regular sadhana. Shama is what? Looking at everything in a tranquil state, not getting into a panic mode. Something happens, maybe very unpleasant, not suddenly panicking about it, saying, let me look in, giving a little pause. Able to handle situations of life with tranquility is Shama. Shama, the word from Shama, the word Shanti comes. Shama is relaxed, being cool. Dhamma is having a say over the senses, not letting the senses rule your life, but you saying whether you want to use your senses or not. You want to meditate, you say, for these few minutes I'm going to close my eyes. For these few minutes mobile is switched off. For these few minutes, all these things. Let me switch off my mobile. I forgot. Yeah. So this is Dhamma. Dhamma is what? Having a say over the senses. Then the third one is Titiksha. Titiksha, in life, opposites are a part of life. Health comes, sickness comes, friends are there, enemies are there. Same people who are friends become enemies. Same things which were good become bad. All these things come and go in life. So not being swayed by opposites, being able to go through the unpleasantness without resistance is Titiksha. We do this, isn't it? One day you have to go to the airport, your flight is at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. You wake up at midnight or 1 o'clock and then you drive to the airport. Yeah, you're sitting in the airplane, it's sleep time for you, the seats are not comfortable, there is noise, somebody is crying, some child is making noise. What do? You say it's okay. That is Titiksha. So we all have the Titiksha in us as well. Shama, Dhamma, Titiksha, Uparati. Uparati is seeing what we have been bestowed upon rather than complaining about what we don't have. Finding joy in that which is close to you, that which has been given to you is Uparati. Then Samadhana. Samadhana means ability to focus. How easily you get distracted, that shows how much Samadhana is lacking in. The more that wealth of samadhana in you, the less easily you can be distracted. And the more samadhana in you, the more focus in you, the more easily you can slip into meditation. And then Shraddha, faith, investing in something which you don't understand fully. There is something in you says, oh yes, I think this is important, but you don't know what it ensures. Like you have come to this session, you don't know what to expect, what you are going to get, but something somewhere deep inside you says, this is important, I need to put my time here, put my attention here. This is Shraddha. These are the 6 wealths. And then Mumukshutva. Mumukshutva is intense desire to know the truth of existence, to realize what is permanent in life, to see that which is beyond what is seen by the senses. This thirst for truth is Mumukshutva. These are what the qualifications. When you have these qualifications, even in small quantities, that is enough. You don't have to be fully proficient in them. That will take many lifetimes. But even if you have stepped on the path and you're working on this, then you become eligible for the Atma Gyan or the Upanishadic knowledge. What are the benefits? The 5 benefits are described. What are they? Jignasa Nivritti. What is Jignasa? Curiosity. The question, who am I? What is the purpose of my life? Is this all there is to life? Is there more to life? These are questions of curiosity. So first thing the knowledge does is quenches your curiosity, just clarifies all the curious questions you have. Then Karpanya Nivritti. Karpanya means distress. You become free from distress. When you have this knowledge that there is something which is unchanging, something which is untouched by the events, then you don't get distressed, you don't panic that very easily. Then Aghata Nivritti. Aghata means shock. Nothing can shock you. Yes, you will feel upset with something, you will feel disappointed, you will feel sad about a few things, but it won't break you. You won't be shaken or broken. You have something today, tomorrow it is not there, you won't become a wreck. Aghata Nivritti. It will prevent you, protect you from being broken completely. It will make you strong. Vidyananda Prapti. Vidya and Ananda. It will bring you, see, Ananda, the bliss that being described in the Upanishad, it is not the thrill of the senses. It is something which is indescribable. It is probably a combination of contentment, peace, wisdom, compassion, dispassion, all these put together. You are like a tranquil lake. That state of tranquility is Ananda, bliss. That which cannot be taken away by objects and that which is not dependent upon the external world. Vidya is the true knowledge of the self. So you get Vidya and Ananda, Vidyananda Prapti. And then Dakshata Prapti. Dakshata is the skill of life. Yoga is what? The skill of leading life. That skill will come to you. Not to reject anything, not to indulge in anything, but to take the middle path and move is a real skill. That skill comes to you with the knowledge of the self. These are the prayojanas of wanting to be Upanishadic knowledge. And then they say, in a nutshell, what do you want? You want to be happy. The different types of, what is the first type of happiness? The happiness that is given to you by the senses and the material things. That is called ordinary happiness. The earthly pleasures, that which are perishable, that which are impermanent. Then there are the pleasures of the sense of the Swarga. It's called Swargaloka. You want a higher desire. What is the higher desire? You know what all the religions practice. You be disciplined here, and after you leave this body, you will be taken to a place where everything is in abundance. So what is this place? The earth is a place of perishable, ending, material pleasures, sensory pleasures. Whereas Swarga or heaven is a place where the pleasures are unending. They are continuous. You can have as much as you, but still they are sensory and material only. And then there is a much highest desire which is called the Brahmaloka or the Satyaloka, where you experience the bliss which is higher than the senses. So this is said to be the highest desire, and this is the desire of the mumukshu. Yeah.